Hello and welcome to Pop Along RC. I'm Carl and today we are continuing on with our journey with the Atom 3. If you're new to the channel, here at Pop Along RC we are all about RC car racing, and our goal is to pop along to as many RC car clubs as we can all over the UK, and hopefully further down the line travel the world. But do you know what? Let's concentrate on the car for today. So in the last video I started work on the Atom 3 and this is what we've got. So most of the chassis is built now, the rear pod's in place, and what I wanted to do before I did the next few steps in the book is I wanted to connect my radio gear and install the electrics just so I could square up the servo, and then I'm going to put the front bumper and things on. Motor wise, what I have actually done is, if you've been following the channel, you will know that I have been running this. This is the Schumacher ATOM 1, and I've just taken the electrics out of this car, ready to install in here. So the electrics that we are running are these. We have the Pace 95R ESC. So motor wise, this is the Surpass Rocket. This is the V4S, a very popular motor. This is actually a second-hand motor because the motor that I had been running, it just wasn't up to scratch. So I've borrowed this a couple of times. It's really good. I've actually gone and bought it now, so massive shout out to Alex for sorting me out with this. So that is one thing I have noticed already that's different. So on the Atom 1 you could slide the motor in, whereas with this you haven't got the option of sliding it into the end because the end of these are sealed. So as you can see here, they're sealed at the end, whereas on the last one they were open, which just made it a lot easier. Putting the motor in without the wheel on the end is so much easier to do. That's all meshed up quite nicely in there. Beautiful. And now what we need to do is work out the best way to run these wires from the back of the car to the front of the car. So here we go. We can see now we have the ESC over on this side of the car. I've tilted it at a slight angle to get it as far forward as possible. I like the fact that we've got these sidebars which can protect the ESC from the side. We've got our on-off switch just here. That's fine. Then the capacitor I've just put on top of the receiver for now. But as I say, I'm looking at getting a new radio for this. Transponder tucked away down here. The core RC servo. And that is all the electrics in the car. A battery. So for those of you that don't know, when running GT12 we run on a single cell. So this is a 1S LiPo, and that should pop straight in there. So on my wires I've got a little bit of red on this one, and I've got a little red on the battery, so we make sure we don't get those the wrong way round because you can end up blowing your ESC up. Another little tip, obviously this is quite a compact car, and this wire here for my servo is rather long. So what I tend to do, and I'm not really wanting to mess around with cutting all my wires down. So what I tend to do is I wrap them around a screwdriver. If you attach the wire around like that, you get a nice little coil. Add a little bit of heat, it holds it in place. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, when setting up your servo, what you want to do is turn the radio on. So obviously I've got the receiver in there, so I've got my radio. I turn this on, and now the servo is working. So what you want to do is on your radio, you want to make sure the trim is set to 0, and then what you can do is set these up so it's as straight as possible. Just turn that off for a second, and then what we can do is we can screw in the servo saver, and we are then good to go. What we're going to do now is go on to step 16. So I need to find my bag 16. This is quite an interesting feature which I'm really quite impressed with. Here at the front we have got our bumper, and then sticking out the bumper, as you can see, we have our body posts. Now then, the distance between each hole in these body posts is probably about 5mm. However, when we're talking about something as precise as the rest of the car, 5mm is massive when it comes to the ride height of the shell. So, at first glance over here, we have got not 4 holders for the posts, not 8, but in actual fact, we have got 12. And I was thinking, why have they given us so many of these? And the reason they've done that is over here in the book, you can see that on the underside of these, they have dots. So this one here has got 1 dot, this one's got 2 dots, and this one here has got 3 dots, which gives you 3 different heights between the height of these body posts. So rather than having to go up one whole hole to get the body height perfect, you can use these and you can have 3 different heights between each hole. So that is enabling you to get that perfect ride height and getting the shell sitting perfectly snug on the chassis. So yeah, really nice addition that. There you go. With regards to putting the car together, it went together super easy. Now, the one problem I have got with this car at the moment is I haven't got a decent shell for it. The shell that I have been running on my Atom one is this one here, and the holes are going to be in a different place with the Atom 3 chassis, and the way it was, I don't think I could have made it work with the holes that were already in here. So what I've done is I've dug out an old GT12 shell, which is this one here. I've recut the holes and it actually works just fine. So I've just popped a sticker on the front and the back there where the old holes were. I've had to repair the wing because the wing was damaged, but I have now got a car which I can go out and I can test drive. So let's get this to the track and see how we get on.